My father didn't write very often. 2, maybe 3 times a year since I'd come to live in London. His letters were quite formal, usually starting with some news of my mother, and then something about how slow business was in the funeral home.
They're all going somewhere else to die, Sean. Even that bloody Mrs. Haynes is hanging on for dear life.
Then a few lines of news from around the town. Like the American house had been resold. Or the hurling team had lost all their matches. Again. He usually ended his letters here with a few words of fatherly advice, which I always resented. But this time, on the last page, he described something different.
Hello! It's locked solid, man. We'll have to go in the front. I'll have to force it. Keep the kids back.
Well, Sobey was dead. He'd come to our town long before I was born, and he'd kept to himself nearly all the time. He had no next of kin, so a collection was made to pay for the funeral expenses. Everyone had their own story about Sobey. That he'd been interned in a prisoner of war camp in Idaho and come to Ireland to forget it all. Or in Japan, he'd operated slow drip torture on young Marines. They said he had that kind of face. When we were kids, we saw him as a kamikaze pilot who'd gotten cold feet, parachuting out and somehow drifting to our town, as if carried by a magical wave. I was 16, and enduring the endless days of a dead summer in a small town. Meeting Sobey changed all that. I hoped he'd tell me a wonderful story about his past. I suppose I wanted to own something of him, to make his history belong to me.
You heard all that?
Yeah. I was trying to read.
Feels you should be doing better.
You're doing a lot of shouting these days.
Will you take it?
Sure doesn't want me to.
I'm asking you to. We need the extra money. It's all right. He'll calm down.
All right, son. Doesn't bother me. Hello? Mr. Sobey? Hey there.
Come in. It's open. Welcome, welcome. Come in. Sit here.
Mr. Sobey, I've come about a job. My aunt told my mother that you might have some work.
You will help me? Very good. Would you like a cup of tea?
Yeah,
Sit here.
thanks. Thanks. So do you want me to work for you?
There's a big job in the American house. Will you help me?
Yeah. Sure, why not?
We'll start this afternoon.
Right. The big house had been empty for years. The story was an American millionaire had bought it. And it was rumoured he drove a Cadillac and had 5 good-looking daughters. But nobody arrived that summer, as we set about the task of transforming the house. I spent the first day following Asobi from room to room, watching as he performed the same exact and careful examination of the walls. He remained silent almost all the time. Thanks, Mr. Asobi.
Call me just Osobe. We'll start tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Right. Asobi. Can we eat them now?
That's Jordan for 2. Could you give it a rest, Ryan?
You get slanty eyes from wanking too much, Donnelly.
I'll get you later, Ryan.
Any money for me, Sean?
Yeah, sorry.
How much is there?
He's giving me £60 a week.
Is that all?
It helps.
Where does that nip get his money from anyway?
The decorating business. Obviously the one to be in at the moment.
Does he give you that much every week, Sean?
Yeah.
Should be more. Gets enough hours out of you anyway. Anyone else?
No, thanks. I said no.
All right. All right. Do you not think he's a bit strange?
Probably hiding something.
Is he a bit mad, Sean?
No, he's not too bad.
There's madness there anyway. Paddy said he lived in Brazil for a while.
Has he ever said anything to you, Sean?
No. Hasn't said a word.
So how's the new boss then, Donnelly?
Does he walk while in shop? I'll treat you punk I can soya sauce, please. So what's his big secret then, Sean?
Well, he was there when it happened, you know. The bomb. Then Hiroshima.
For fuck's sake, Donnelly.
What bomb? The atomic bomb, you idiot.
I'm not telling you what he told me.
Why would he tell you?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he likes me.
Oh, does he?
What did he say?
Well, he was only around our age when it happened. He was from a well-off family, living near the centre of the city. He was the eldest of 5. He said he loved the war, and he just couldn't wait to be old enough for military service. He would have happily died for the Emperor Hirohito. So by that stage, truth of it was, Japan was losing the war. Teenagers were organised into work gangs, and that's where Asobi found himself one beautiful August morning. He and about 20 others were in a field just outside the city, helping to bring in the harvest. His friend pointed up towards the sky. Before he even had time to turn, there was a lightning flash so vast it was like the sun falling to earth. A boom so loud it knocked him to the ground unconscious. When he woke, there was darkness. Ashes and fire falling from the heavens.
Nah, you're a bullshitter, Donnelly.
You believe what you want, Paul. I'm only repeating what the man said.
Is that you, Sean?
Go to bed. Work in the morning. Thanks.
You did a good job.
How long have you been here?
Only as long as you.
No, I mean, in Ireland.
Long time.
What was brought you here?
I'm a wallpaper man. I try to do a good job here.
Yeah, but I mean, why here?
We go back to work. You can clean up for tomorrow.
Right. What's Japan like?
Like anywhere else. Not as beautiful as here.
And why did you come here?
It was so long ago. It doesn't seem important now.
Were you in the war?
You ask a lot of questions.
Someone told me that you were in Hiroshima. And why did you leave Japan?
I can't answer these questions. どこでもよかったのかもしれないな。
I'll go on in and clear up inside.
Sure. Hiroshima was a sad place. But it's different now. Like many cities, with lots of people.
And were you there? Just a single plane. A lone B-29. Flying across the clear blue sky. Suddenly it turns upwards. With a terrific roar and a golden lightning flash. Anyone who'd seen it had their eyes burnt out in seconds. The flash only lasted for an instant. But anything, including people within a mile, just burst into flames. What was left for the living was worse. He made his way back into the ruined city. People were lying everywhere, burnt to a reddish black, bodies horribly swollen. There's one image he can't get out of his mind. 3 schoolgirls passing. Faces and bodies completely burnt. They hold their arms out in front of their chests, their hands pointing downwards. From their bodies, something like paper is hanging. It's their skin, peeling off and dangling from their limbs. They stagger through his memory like sleepwalkers. He never found his home or any of his family. They were just gone. His kind became known as hibakushi, survivors of the bomb. They were outcasts in their own land. That's why he began to travel. The pain he faced in Japan was too much for him. He hasn't told me much about his travels yet, but I reckon he settled here because it was the first place he'd been where he found a sense of peace. Wasabi? You there?
Sean, go inside.
So are we working today? What's going on?
Sean, all the job's done.
What? I can still do another week or so if you like.
We'll celebrate with a cup of tea.
But I thought we were starting the new one in Gorman's today.
They changed their mind. No jobs.
Why do you keep changing the wallpaper?
I don't know. I like to. You did a good job. Will you go back to school soon?
I still have a few weeks.
Will you help me again if I find a job for you?
Do you hate Americans?
Why?
For what they did to your country?
What is important for me is making a good job with the wallpaper. That is important. Huh? For you. For school time.
Thanks, Asobi. I better go.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Come back for a visit.
Jesus! Now look what you've done.
You did that.
Look, just give me the bottle. For fuck's sake.
What's wrong with you, Donnelly?
Nothing.
Would the nip not give you a souvenir from Hiroshima?
Fuck off.
Oh!
I couldn't bring myself to visit him again after that day. A little over a year later, I finished school and took a plane to London.
Give the kids back.
More or less everyone now was sure he'd been a victim of Hiroshima. People said he'd been trying to wallpaper out the memory of the bomb. But my father had found no clues in the cottage. No letters. No medical papers. Nothing. Nothing at all to indicate why Asobi had come to our town. I had relations in places as far away as Nebraska and Ghana, neither of which ever struck me as peculiar. Asobi could have been one of their kind, a wanderer or a misfit, although I never wanted him to be. I wanted him to be a hero, to tell me some incredible story that I could carry inside me forever. Now I'm just glad I had the chance to have spent that time with him. Bye.